Windass continues Wrexham's momentum. The Red Dragons are flying up the league. Welcome back to Where Red Dragons Talk with myself, Luke, and today we have got Ed. So, a very positive week, mate, and now unbeaten in 5. Let's talk about that Charlton win.
Yeah, no, unbelievable. Second half performance was fantastic. We were pretty relentless. First half was a little bit cagey. I think Charlton probably edged the game, but second half we came out and it was kind of like the way the team's been playing for the past few years. It was good to see this in the Championship where we just kept coming. The pressure was building and building on Charlton. Okay, a little bit fortunate with Charlton player randomly handballing the ball and there was nobody on him, and I really don't know what that was about. But we'll take those breaks, of course we will. So fantastic win, and just looking at our run now, it's 5 unbeaten. It's 1 loss in 10. It's 3 home wins. It's back-to-back clean sheets. It's really, really looking good. Things are looking up.
Flying, Ed, flying. It's really, really. It feels like a very pivotal moment within the season. It's kind of like an establishing moment to be like, right, we're here and we're ready. What did it feel like beating Charlton? Because I know the last couple of seasons you had a bit of fan, not rivalry, but, a bit of banter. I love to see it both ways. Was it a little bit extra special beating Charlton?
It was, yeah. So last season, it kind of started off with the away games where Charlton had sold half and half scarves. And obviously, we always get the Hollywood kind of jokes thrown at us. But with them doing that, we gave Wrexham fans the chance to put a little bit back. Look, this is your big game of the season. We drew their 2-2 away. And then the home game last season was the one where we clinched promotion. But in the lead up to the game, their manager had said that he'd made a reference to the circus. I think really what he meant was the media circus, but it certainly backfired him. So backfired on him, and Wrexham fans then were singing all about "Welcome to the Circus," and that has now gone over into this season. So yeah, a little bit of a rivalry's bubbling up. I'm sure Charlton will be looking to get one back at us later in the season, but yeah, great win.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's not like Nathan Jones to wind up the fans, is it? That's an odd one.
No, not at all. No. And it's extra spicy because he's from Wales, of course, as well.
Yeah, of course,
so,
yeah. I didn't think of that, Lee. Yeah, that is so true. Right, we'll sort of half touch on the Pompey game. Obviously, it was a 0-0 draw, but that does mean another clean sheet. So, you have a clean sheet against Pompey, then you go and beat Charlton 1-0 with another clean sheet. Like I say, it's looking very impressive at both ends of the pitch.
It is, absolutely. And you think back to a few weeks ago, we were talking about the defence being leaky and the same types of goals at times being conceded, struggling to know who the 3 at the back should be. And now all of a sudden we look really, really hard to score against. And I know it's been a few weeks of people saying that the team will gel, but it seems like it's beginning to happen now. We're looking more and more like a typical Parkinson team. And I think that's taken quite a while because there's been so many new faces. So up front, we're looking dangerous with Moore and Windass are forming a really, really good partnership. But at the back, we're looking very, very solid. It's definitely quite a fruitful time at the moment.
Definitely, yeah. You mentioned him there, and we sort of mentioned him a little bit last week with his partnership with Moore, but obviously it was a bit more about Keith Moore, so his hat-trick. I want to talk about Josh Windass. I think he's been one of the new faces, like you say, but I think he's been a really pivotal part to the cog that the Wrexham are trying to build, and I think not only his partnership with Moore, but I think just his general play, he's a very smart football player, Ed.
Yeah, he's technically so good. He's intelligent and he sees passes that other players maybe don't see the same. His quality is very good. If ever a pass goes astray when Windass has got the ball, it's a little bit of a surprise because he doesn't do it often. He's a really, really good, intelligent footballer. And there is, though, the partnership with Moore, it's looking really good because Moore needs this person who's going to play off him, who's going to read the flick-ons, or who's going to lay off balls back to Moore. So he's looking really, really good. Windass in probably a contender for a possible player of the season going forward.
Yeah, I think he's one of them players that, I know he's not old, but he's a little bit of a later developer maybe. He's bounced around in the Football League a little bit, and obviously he's done very well at Sheffield Wednesday. And I feel like he's a player that's got the technical attributes for the Premier League. I really do. I think he could make that step up. obviously you'd like to think it's with Wrexham, but do you think he's got the Premier League quality?
Technically, he's very, very good. He's really, really intelligent. So technically, absolutely. I know he was one that when we signed, it was on a free transfer. And I don't think it was a signing that people thought, oh, wow, they've got Windass because of all the other players that were coming through. But he's been completely and utterly quality. So, yeah, definitely technically he's Premier League. I would have thought so. But as you say, he is a little bit older as well. So let's see, but at the moment he's fantastic. He's settled in so well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the other thing that's come from this week is that, like I think we mentioned at the top of the show, he's 5 unbeaten. That's some doing in the Championship. Ed. The league is relentless, as we know. To be 5 unbeaten is really, really strong.
Yeah, because every game is a tough game. And I know we had the games against Middlesbrough and Coventry, which we looked at and we thought we'd be lucky to get anything out of those games. But the Portsmouth away, that's a tough game. Charlton at home, Charlton were flying. And they still are. They're still really, really high. Every game's tough. You even look down the bottom of the table, teams like Norwich, Sheffield United, they're good teams. So to put together a run of results where we're not being beat shows how well now we're settling in. We look like the real deal. We look like a proper Championship team now. Earlier in the season, I was there. Give it a couple of years. But earlier in the season, I did think there were times, QPR at home, West Brom at home, where we were looking a little bit out of our depth, maybe. But that's definitely settled down. And it's becoming quite rare now for teams, well, certainly recently, where I was feeling earlier in the season, they just seemed to score out of nothing. It seemed to be boom, there was a goal all of a sudden. And it was kind of, where's that come from? But it's this higher level, the higher quality. We're looking really, really tough now to score against.
Yeah, which is good. Obviously, you mentioned the Premier League there. So let's get on to your upcoming game. It's against a team that's just come down from the Premier League in Ipswich. Obviously, Portman Road, tough place to go. You've got the international break now to really prepare for the game. What are you expecting from the game, and what is your score prediction?
Yeah, we know that obviously Ipswich are a very, very good team. It'll be nice to see Broadhead go back there. I'm hoping he'll get a good reception from the Ipswich fans. For us, I think the international break's probably come at possibly a bad time, just because the momentum's so strong at the minute. A draw would be a fantastic result. A draw would keep the unbeaten run going. Then it would make it 1 in 11. So for me, a draw. So I'll go for a sneaky 1-1. I know I can be a little bit cagey with my predictions, but yeah, I think a 1-1 I'd be very, very happy with.
I think you take that. You go away from home from a team that's just come down from the Premier League. It's a tough place to go, Portman Road. The Ipswich obviously starting to sort of look like they're getting things back on track a little bit. So it's going to be a tough game. But I think Ipswich will think the same. Wrexham are flying, so it's going to be a good game to watch. I think it's definitely going to bring the Hollywood viewers. I think. Right, we are on to our segment of the A to Z. So we're on the letter F, Ed. So who is your letter F, or what is your letter F for Wrexham?
So there was a couple of people I thought of. Fletcher, absolute cult player for the past couple of seasons. Obviously, Ben Foster as well, fantastic. I saw both spells he had at the club when he was on loan, then later. But I think for me, it's got to go to Brian Flynn. He was initially a player, then a player manager at Wrexham in the early 90s, but he was the guy that was the manager. He put faith in youth, and he was the manager when we beat Arsenal. He then got us promotion to what is now League One, and just a great servant. We played very, very good football, attacking football, and a lot of legends of Wrexham during the 90s came through Flynn. Maybe his biggest thing was he had this season where there was no relegation from the Football League, and he just blooded the kids. He just blooded the youngsters, but then it ended up with such a good crop coming through because we had no money. There was no transfer fees for anybody. And it kind of beating Arsenal was obviously then the big catalyst for us to go on and become a promotion in the old Division 4. And yeah, then in the league higher. So Brian Flynn, absolute legend at Wrexham.
Legend of the club. Talk to me about Ben Foster, Ed. I think the timing of his arrival came as a surprise to everybody. Obviously, he was retired, wasn't he? And he came out of retirement to join the club. Very, very highly thought of goalkeeper, very experienced. You'll remember the game more than me, but I think there was a game where he saved a penalty in the last kick of the game. What was he like to have at the club?
He was fantastic. So his initial spell, he came on loan to Wrexham. He was third choice keeper at Stoke when he was a youngster. Came on loan and was absolutely superb, far above the level we were playing at that time. But then coming back, it was a big name. And I think sometimes even now when fans say that Wrexham always sign these old Premier League players, I think maybe people are thinking of Foster, someone like that, because I don't think it's true that we do sign loads of these old Premier League players. But yeah, Foster coming back, such a good person, I'm sure, to have in the dressing room. Seems to be that he will be such a positive guy and with the experience. And the penalty you're referring to, yeah, when we were with Notts County, we ended up 111 points. I think they were 108 or something. They were absolutely superb. But it was in that game, we were 3-2 up. They got a penalty late on. Foster saves it, and we win the game. So, but then he played the next season, the beginning, and he was letting in some soft goals and decided that was that, which I think is kind of credit to him. He just kind of thought, I'm sure he thought that, I'm not saving shots that I normally would. So maybe now is a good time to call it a day, which, yeah, I think that's credit to him as well to recognise that.
Yeah, definitely. He sort of came he left in the same way he came. It was a surprise, wasn't he? He suddenly decided, no, enough's enough. But like you say, you've got to respect him because he could have easily, collected in his wages and sort of just saw it as a little bit of a retirement home maybe, or do you know what I mean, something where he just sort of sat back and chilled, but he didn't want to do that, and rightly so. Wrexham's not a club to be doing that at, so I think it was very respectable all round. Right, now we're finishing on our last segment, which is our tweet of the week, which funnily enough is about another goalkeeper, current goalkeeper in Arthur, and the tweet is, how about that save from Arthur at the end? Ed, how has he got to that? Absolute acrobatics.
Well, I felt at that time, the second half, we so deserved the 1-0. We had great chances to go 2-0 up. You think we're seeing the game out nicely. And then I think it was around the 97th, 98th minute. It was so deep. I don't know where the referee got 9 minutes injury time from, but the save was unbelievable. Top corner, tipped it over. He's played really well recently, Arthur, and I think this run of games he's having now. Earlier in the season, there were a lot of people, and I'd be one of these, to be honest, where we've got 3 goalies, and there didn't seem to be much between them. But Arthur's definitely claimed to be the number one. He's also the youngest, and I think probably the one with the most potential. But the save, unbelievable. And the last couple of games, there's been other saves he's made as well, where he's getting down to shots really, really well. He's certainly got potential to play. I think he's got potential to play Premier League.
Yeah, I think he was on Arsenal's books, wasn't he? I think he came up through the academy.
Exactly, yeah. So that's where he signed from, and now he's come up a couple of leagues with us as well. So it's quite nice that he's been part of the journey with Wrexham, and he's able to step up to these levels, which I'm sure when he signed was something they thought of at the time, that here's a guy that we could have for a few seasons that has potential to play at Championship and maybe higher. But yeah, he's been superb, and what a save, because it was a great header.
Yeah, it really was. Well, things are looking rosy at Red Dragons at the moment, ain't it, Ed? So it's what a time to be a Wrexham fan. 5 unbeaten, pushing on, and it's really, this is the time now. Wrexham have made their statement. They're here to belong. Thank you for a great conversation, Ed, and thank you everybody for watching at home. Please like and subscribe, and please get involved in the comments below. Right, Ed, with winter fast approaching, who is on your early Christmas list for the January transfer window?
I think the area where we really can be quite concerned about is striker. So I don't have a name, but it's someone to back up Kiefer Moore if he gets injured. He went off at the weekend, pulling his hamstring right at the end of the game. So is that going to be a couple of weeks? Is it going to be a lot longer? But always the concern has been who is going to back up Kiefer Moore, who plays in the same sort of style. So I haven't got a name for you, but definitely someone, that same big target man who can hold the ball up, good in the air. And if Kiefer needs a rest as well as being injured, that someone can step up to the plate.
So, Ed, now we are seeing a more settled Championship League table. Who do we expect to get relegated this season?
I think, unfortunately, it's pretty obvious that Sheffield Wednesday, with all their troubles, that points deduction, so that'll be sad to see. But hopefully, they'll rise up back pretty quickly. I'd expect Sheffield United to get out of danger. Norwich have got quite a big budget, and although they look pretty poor, to be honest, when we played them, I think they could get out. So maybe Portsmouth. Portsmouth, I think, are struggling down there, so they could be a danger, and maybe Hull as well. So I think if your prediction would be Hull, Portsmouth, and obviously Sheffield